Oh, wah, iki sing akehan wong Lumajang. Oke, sabar sebentar. OTW,
Bengi tambah ngantuk aku, Bu.
sebentar.
Sabar, sabar.
Oke, go ahead. Itu kan sudah keluar kan? Oke, silakan.
Oke. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you for the opportunity. Today, I am Mada. We are going to present and talking about designing effective lesson plan together with my group, Ibu Devi and Ibu Lulia. Next, please. Next slide, Ibu Lulia. Okay, basically, when we are teaching English or any kind of lesson, we need our lesson plan because according to some researchers, that lesson plan is very essential thing, very crucial thing to be having to us to having it. So before we are going further into designing effective lesson plan, we have to know first what are the essences of lesson plan. Here, I already collected some statements from previous researchers. The first is coming from Nadirovna and Temirovna in 2022. They stated that lesson plan is actually teacher's preparation. Okay, the meaning of teacher's preparation is that we are getting prepared before we are coming to our class, before we start our teaching activity. Because in the making process of lesson plan, we are preparing everything, the media that we are going to use, the materials we are going to teach. We are preparing how to deal with our students in the classroom. So that's why they stated that lesson plan is teacher's preparation. And then the second statement is coming from Lestari and Siwi in 2022 as well. They convey that lesson plan is basically teaching systematic guide. So when we are having the lesson plan in our hand, we are not going to teach our student randomly. We are going to teach them in a systematic way. They will have a systematic learning experience. So we are not going to teach jumping here and there. We will have a classroom in a good order. Okay, the third statement is stated by Manalu in 2016. He stated that a lesson plan is a while teaching reminder. We are, as a teacher, also a human. Sometimes we got distracted. There are lots of distraction that can be happened in our classroom. So in case we might forget something in sudden in the middle of our teaching, we can look back into our lesson plan that we already created in the first place. So we can assume that lesson plan is a while teaching reminder. It reminds us what to do next when we are suddenly forget something. Okay, next statement is stated by Shen et al. In 2007. She said that lesson plan is teacher's professional responsibility. Okay, lesson plan, there are three basic aspects that we have to consider, that we have to think about. The first is the teaching materials that we are going to transfer, that we are going to transmit into our students' knowledge. And then the second is teaching method, how we are going to teach our students, and then the student itself, what are the characteristics, what are the what are the behavior, what are their learning styles. So means that when we are having our lesson plan with us, means that we are taking responsible of our classroom. We have responsibility towards our students and towards the subject itself. The last statement is coming from Alfiani and Nurholis in the recent years, 2023. They stated that lesson plan is the implementation of teaching and curriculum policy. Means that when we are ready with our lesson plan, we are not going to teach outside the curriculum. We already tailored the curriculum with our teaching activity in the classroom. So, from those collected statements, we can conclude that lesson plan is very essential, right? So, it is important to us to know every basic aspect in making lesson plan, mainly in designing effective lesson plan. Next, Ibu Luli, next slide. Now we are going further talking about designing effective lesson plan. Next, Ibu Luli. Okay, next. Okay, the previous slide. Effective lesson plan, when we are having it, when we are already creating effective lesson plan, means that we are going to have effective teaching and learning activity. Previous slide, Ibu Luli. Go back one slide. Go back, not continue. Next, one slide. Okay, I will. Previous one, Ibu Luli, the chart. Yes, that one. Okay, I will repeat one more time. When we are having effective lesson plan means that we are going to have effective teaching and learning activities. So there will be no energy waste, there will be no time waste. We are just going to have effective teaching activity and our classroom will go and will run smoothly. So effective lesson plan is actually helping us to assist our student in reaching the course objectives. So when we are going to creating effective lesson plan, there are some basic components that we have to have a look. Next slide, Ibu Nuni. The table. Okay, there are five various kind. There are so much kind of lesson plan that we can adopt and adapt. But the basic lesson plan, the basic one, there are these are the basic components that should be available in our lesson plan. The first is objectives. Objective is basically aim to give our students a chance to discover, to establish, or demonstrate what they are going to be taught. And it is actually written for students. It describes the results of the learning at that day. So the writing of the objective, it should be in concise and clear words, so the students will easily comprehend what kind of objective that they will have at that day. And then the second component is the activities. Activities should be designed based on the topic of the day, and then the activities should engage the students' attention in learning process, so they will feel motivated and they will be easily to reach to achieve the lesson goals. And then continue to the next component called media. No, media. So media is the channel, the method, how we are going to transmit the materials that have been prepared. So we have to choose the appropriate tools or appropriate media for the subject, material, learners, and practical use of the media itself. Next component is assessment. Assessment is a two-way beneficial. It can be beneficial to us as a teacher and it can be beneficial to our students. Basically, assessment is to measure the students' understanding about the materials given by the teacher. But here, the result of the assessment, we can use it as the development of lesson plan. So we can reflect the success of our lesson plan, the effectiveness of our lesson plan based on the result of the assessment. If the result of our assessment is not that good and it can be considered as bad result of assessment, we can go through our lesson plan. We can modify which part that we can be eliminate and which part we can add more or which part need to be modified. That's the benefit of assessment to us, to the teachers. Next. Here is the basic lesson plan that I take from the internet. So when we are going to create the lesson plan, at least there are provided these components. The first is course information about the units, about the grade, the date, and the topic. And then the second, you should write the objectives and then activities, and it will be better if your activities is completed with time duration, how long your activity will be last. And then the media that you are going to use, like if you are going to use pictures, write down pictures there and etc. And then assessment, you can write down the assessment method that you are going to use to assess your student. Next slide. Okay, we are coming into the most crucial part, the most important part of making effective lesson plan. That's called subject objective. This is the very important phase, very important stage in designing effective lesson plan. Defining objectives actually starts before planning a lesson. So your lesson plan will be formulated, will be designed based on the objective that you are already stated. The definition of objective is a description of what learners will know or able to do after finishing lesson. So it should be written to be known by students. The writings, it should be easy to understand. It should be related to the subject outcomes. And then the next thing, next slide. When we are defining the subject objective, Henrich et al. In 1996, I know it's a bit too old, but yeah, it's a good formula that I found on the journal. It's called ABCD formula. So when we are trying to define the objective of our lesson, we have to consider this for what aspect. ABCD formula, A standing for audience. We have to know who is the audience of our class, what they look like, what they like, what they don't like, and then the behavior, what to be able to. Then the C is standing for the condition. It's talking about the how and what will the student be given and or already be expected to know to accomplish the learning, and under what circumstances or contexts will the learning occur. And then the last letter, D, is standing for degree of mastery needed. How much will be accomplished and how well will the behavior need to be performed and to what kind. And then after you success formulating your subject objective, you can go to the next phase. You can go to the next step that called choosing teaching method that will be presented by Bu Lulia. Bu Devi. Bu Devi. Okay. Please, Bu Devi, your turn.
Okay, thank you, Farul. The next step is choosing teaching method. Teaching technique is the means reflecting to the success of our learning process and our competencies as a teacher here. So knowing the differences between this method, we'll have to select the technique that is best for particular class of study. And to define a particular teaching style, here there are some teaching methods The first is about lecture. Lectures. In lectures, teaching method is teacher is the main roller. Teacher deliver prepared talk or presentation to the students and then continue with question and answer. And in this method, effort and time are saved. But there are some weaknesses in this method, such as students will feel boring and it is difficult to gauge, and it is a one-way communication. Whereas lecture has also the strength here, like as I said before, effort and time are saved, and this is suitable for detailed subject like history and contains experience which can inspire. The second method is discussion and dialogue. In discussion and dialogue, it depends on three elements: sender, receiver, and the message. And it tends to increase the self-confidence among the students and make students more active and powerful. And then it can encourage students to create questions. The next is practical demonstration. It is effective in teaching skills of using tools, lab experiments in sciences, and some training like giving speech and so on. And then next is group learning. If group forming by the teacher, it can be as one of the foundations of the success of group learning. And the researchers results show that the strongest group is that group which consists of students with different levels of skills. In group learning, the members of the group can be categorizing as reader, registrar, checker, and material collector, and coordinator, and observer. The next method is investigation. Investigation is the effective method for developing scientific thinking for students by implementing many scientific operations such as observation, experimentation, prediction, interpretation. The characteristics of investigation here is student-centered, and then teacher is a director, not a brain feeder, and help students to develop their mental and scientific skills. It also can develop positive directions like self-confidence and enthusiasm of students. The sixth teaching method is problem solving. In problem solving, it can motivate students, and problem will be a challenge for investigating to discover unknown things, and students can learn by exposing to many concepts through the process of solution. And then in problem solving, the students can learn through their work with their assumption that is correct or not. and they can get the cheerful feeling which the solution is achieved. And the last teaching method is online teaching. In online teaching, there are some strengths and weaknesses. The strength is in online teaching, students can participate from anywhere in the world, and they can learn everywhere. And then so it is efficient unlike face-to-face classes, because there is time and space for students to think, to discuss, and it allows a dynamic interaction between teacher and student and among themselves. And there are no discriminating factors such as age, gender, disabilities, and then students have an open access to resources and materials that may be located anywhere in the world. And also it can create self-direction and critical thinking. Besides that, it has some weaknesses. In online teaching method, needs computer and internet connection, and students, also the teachers, must have the knowledge of using computer and internet itself. Okay, next slide, Bu Luli. Next slide, Bu Luli. Bu Luli.
Wait.
Is there something wrong? Okay.
Okay. Okay. The next step is deciding class activities. Before we decide our class activities, we have to we have to consider the students' condition arriving at the class, and the learning styles, the students' motivation, because they are different, and the teacher needs to provide engaging activities related to the learning outcomes. Here are some questions to think about. As a teacher in designing the learning activities. The first is, what will I do to explain the topic? And then what will I do to illustrate the topic in a different way? And how can I engage students in the topic? What are some relevant real life examples, analogies, or situations that can help students understand the topic? And the last is, what will students need to do to help to understanding the topic better? Next. Next step is choosing appropriate materials. This is one of crucial aspects in lesson planning, because like Mada said, materials is a tool that teachers use in the classroom to support specific learning objectives as set out in lesson plans. Examples, we can use games, videos, flashcards, project supplies, textbooks, etc. And there are three considerations that should be pay attention in choosing appropriate materials. There are students' cognitive level, and students' language level, and student learning styles. Okay, the next step will be presented by Bululi.
Okay, thank you, Bu Devi.
You're welcome, ma'am.
I will continue
Yeah.
the presentation today. The next is designing learning media. Media is one of the important point in the lesson plan. The appropriate choosing wait. The appropriate choosing media in teaching will influence teaching learning process. Media here, we take from Rita Kumar research and at 2019, media is a channel. Media is a method of communication. Media can be utilized in almost every discipline to enhance learning in class and out of class. Educational media refers to the channels of communication that carry message with an instructional purpose. They are usually utilized for the sole purpose of learning and teaching. The classification of media, they are, first is print media. The print media include books, journals, magazines, newspaper, workbooks, and textbooks. These are easy to use, portable, and inexpensive. Next is non-print media, like projected and non-projected media. The third is electronic media. These include audio media, visual media, and audiovisual media, projected media and non-projected media. Next is audio media. Audio media these are the teaching learning devices that appeal to the auditory sense. In other way, this media can be heard alone. It carries sounds, for example, audio tapes, records player, radio, and the next is visual media. These are the media that appeals to the sense of seeing. Using maksudnya. All the media which can be seen. Example, television, computer, and whiteboards. Next is audio-visual media. Audiovisual media, it refers to those instructional material which provide learners with audio and visual experiences by appealing to the hearing and seeing sense at the same time. For example, television, video tapes, and closed circuit television or CCTV. Next is projected media. Projected media belongs to a group of instructional resources which can only be accessed by means of projecting their content on the screen or wall using a projector machine specially designed for the purpose. Projected media are usually a combination of software and hardware. These require light source for projection, for example, film projector slides and so on. The last is non-projected media. These aids do not require any projection on screen. These do not require light source. They include three-dimensional object, two-dimensional object, prints, charts, models, and so on. Next is modern education system. We know modern education system is related to the computer. Computer plays a key role in the modern education system. Students find it easier to refer internet than searching information from fact books. The process of learning has gone beyond from textbooks to the internet with a large amount informed. Education is no longer limited to the classrooms. It has reached far and wide. Location far away from each other has become closer due to computer and internet. Presentation of information has become easier. It has facilitated audiovisual representation of information and makes the process of teaching and learning easier interactive. The feature is interactive whiteboards, digital video, digital game, and video conferencing, and we call them as multimedia. Multimedia combines 5 basic types of media into the learning environments. They are text, video, sounds, graphics, animation, thus providing a powerful new tool for education. Multimedia includes a combination of text, audio, still image, animation, video, or interactive content forms. Multimedia is usually recorded and played, displayed, or accessed by information content processing devices, such as computerized and electronic devices, but can also be part of a live performance like podcast, videocast, talk show, YouTube, and etc. And it could be said that the use of multimedia resources expose students to authentic language use in real-world context. The next is the importance of reflection. Reflection is usually is the end of the teaching learning process. We know reflection involves thinking. Reflection involves thinking critically about the teaching and learning process, examining what worked well, what would be improved, and how to make adjustment to the future lesson. Self-reflection. The ways of reflection is there are 2 ways of how to reflect. First is self-reflection. Self-reflection is a process of examining and evaluating one's own thoughts, actions, experiences, and feelings. It involves taking a step back to gain insight into personal strengths, weakness, motivation, and areas for improvement. Self-reflection is a valuable tool for personal and professional as it allows individuals to learn from their experiences and make intentional change in their behavior, thinking, or decision making. Self-reflection can take various forms, including journaling, meditation, conversation with a mentor or coach or teacher, or engaging in activities that provide time for introspection. The second is supervisor-assisted reflection. This is a process where a student engages in reflective practices with the guidance and support of a supervisor or mentor or teacher. This form of reflection is particularly common in educational setting where supervisors play a crucial role in facilitating learning, growth, and development. The supervisor assists the individual in examining experiences, identifying strengths and areas for improvement, and setting goals for future development. Supervisor-assisted reflection is a collaborative and dynamic process that enhances learning, encourages self-awareness, contributes to the professional and personal development of individuals within a structured and supportive environment. That's the end of our presentation today. Thank you very much for the attention, and I will back to Mbak Mada.
Oke, Mbak Mada. Halo.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, that's all, yeah. So,
Yeah, that's all.
yeah. Thank you for Group 2 for very excellent presentation. Now I invite the question from the audience. Please, is there any question? Okay, well, since there is no question from audience,
May I ask a question, ma'am?
Okay, good, Pak.
Yeah, I heard that one of them said that it's about the lesson plan for the capability students.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to know about that one. Do we have to have the same lesson plan for the disability students, or we have just go straight ahead with the normal students?
Okay.
That's my question.
So, pardon, Pak Iman. Sorry, I cannot hear your voice clearly.
Yes, same with me.
Sorry, I use my headset. It is about the lesson plan for the capability in disability students. Do we have the same lesson plan for them, or just go straight ahead with the normal students?
Okay, you are asking about the special needs student?
Yes, yes, it is. Yes.
Okay, okay. Should I answer directly, ma'am, or?
Okay, go ahead. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
basically, before we are creating any kind of subject lesson plan, like ma'am I said before, we have to conduct need analysis. Even we are creating the lesson plan that is what is it aimed intended to the normal student, the average student, we still need to do the need analysis. Specifically, if you are going to make student, of course
Hello?
and we when we are create mainly we are designing the activity of the classroom. So yeah, basically the lesson plan will be different. That's it. Is
Okay,
that answer
in
your
which
question?
part is it going to be different, Book?
Okay, every part of the lesson plan can be different. Start from the objective one because we have to consider the cognitive level, the knowledge, the what is it, the primary knowledge that they have. It can be different, and then we are going to the learning outcomes. It will be different as well because once again we have to consider the specialties that they have and so on. You are going farther in your lesson plan, there are lots modification that you have to do for your special students.
Okay, quite clear. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for very good question, Pak Iman. Can I add that don't forget about the curriculum of disabled student. If disabled student join the regular classroom, it means that like or not, he will be involved in the curriculum content. But for the lesson plan, we have to modify it because the role of lesson plan in this case is to uh, to describe the content of curriculum. So when the curriculum is the same for the regular one or for the for disabled student, but for the lesson plan will be different because the lesson plan for disabled student must be modified with his own characteristic, his own condition. But once again, the curriculum is the same if the disabled student join the regular classroom. So if we compare the curriculum between the regular classroom and the specific classroom, they are very different. But if the disabled student join the regular classroom, they have to be trained or treatment by the same curriculum but with different lesson plan. But the learning objective and the learning achievement should be the same. But how to get the learning achievement depends on the lesson plan that we have to modify for the disabled student. Well, I have a question for Bu Mada
Okay, sorry,
because,
ma'am.
yeah.
May I give question to you?
Oke, Pak, silakan.
Okay, thank you very much. Because the ability of each student, even though in the classroom, I think so different. So as a teacher, so we must make a different lesson plan, even though it's in the similar class like this one, ma'am?
Okay, ideally yes, but ideally yes. What I mean is I respond to Pak Iman's question. In my mind, it is dealing with the Indonesian class. Iya Pak, begitu ya. Indonesian class. Do you mean that?
In
That's
global,
not.
man.
Oh, global. Oh
Indonesia
yeah.
and international.
Okay, in ideally, Pak, not only for disabled student, for each student must be have their own, their own curriculum and also their own lesson plan. Ideally, for each student, the teacher the teacher has to design the specific mini curriculum and the specific lesson plan for each student. If we discuss about the ideal condition, whether it is in Indonesia or outside Indonesia.
Okay,
But
I got it.
if we talk about the Indonesian class, we know that the class in Indonesia is large. Ya Bu, ini siapa yang?
Saya Bu
Oh iya,
Nafi.
ya Bu.
I just want to say to Pak Iman, apa menguatkan jawabannya Kak Ros. Of course, need analysis is very necessary to make learning appropriate to our student and also in other condition. Something like ketika kita mau ngajar itu ada diagnosa untuk kebutuhan siswa by using diagnostic question gitu. And then especially now for kurikulum merdeka, that are lesson plan for differential classes, which will clearly differentiate the treatment for our student and also the material for them. And then automatically when we make this different class modul ajar saat sekarang, differential lesson plan, of course automatically when we make a lesson plan something like this, it will also handle the disabilities for our student. Jadi untuk lesson plan yang sudah menggunakan differential class bukan readiness, secara otomatis anak-anak yang berkebutuhan khusus itu kita sudah akan menyiapkannya secara tidak sadar gitu, karena memang treatment and then for the material of course different. Ini dari saya. Maksudnya statement dari saya yang saya dapat gitu. Thank you.
Ya Bu.
Excuse me.
Ya.
Could I add something about differentiate learning?
Oke Bu.
Yeah.
Go ahead ya.
Yeah, I'm Ani.
Ya Bu Ani.
If talking about differentiate learning, as we know, we can differentiate by three. There are differentiate in process, differentiate in product, and then differentiate in content. So for regular or normal class, we can divide it into three, and then for special class, I think the teacher can make different lesson plan, but we can also make in same content or only in different process. So as like my friend's experience in SLB, SLB in my district, terapi yang diberikan ke mereka itu tidak hanya saat di kelas atau saat pembelajaran. Jadi ketika belajar itu terkadang guru memberikan materi yang sama, akan tetapi dalam pemahamannya guru akan memberikan pendampingan yang berbeda tiap individunya. Nah, setelah itu, setelah jam tertentu, misal 30 menit di awal sudah mereka lakukan dengan materi yang sama, mereka akan memberikan treatment yang berbeda-beda sesuai dengan kebutuhan mereka. Nah, itu salah satu cara atau metode yang biasa mereka gunakan. Saya ceritakan hal ini karena kemarin selama 6 bulan saya mendampingi salah satu guru penggerak yang ada di daerah saya dan kebetulan sekolahnya itu SLB. Jadi saya sedikit banyak tahu bagaimana cara mereka menangani SLB dengan sistem diferensiasi pembelajaran seperti itu. Thank you very much.
Okay, Ibu Ani, that's for specific situation, classroom. What about if the disabled student join in the regular classroom, Ibu? Seperti mahasiswa saya, ada 3 matematika, satunya bahasa Inggris, satunya itu masuk di kelas itu. Itu yang menjadi pembicaraan saya tadi itu bahwa if the disabled student join the regular classroom, the curriculum will be the same. The big curriculum will be the same, but to break down the curriculum to help the disabled student to achieve the learning goal, the lecturer must create or modify the lesson plan with the modify the normal lesson plan and the specific lesson plan based on 3 main aspects. We have to consider about their interests, needs, and strengths. As Bu Ani informed just now. Baik, Bu Mada, are you still there?
Yes, ma'am, here.
Okay, Bu Mada, thank you for your explanation about the effective lesson plan design, ya. What I want to ask you, Ibu, what are, according to you, what are the primary indicator to assess the effectiveness of the lesson plan that you have designed?
I need time to answer this, ma'am.
Okay.
Can I have my time? Okay.
Okay, Bu. Now for to Bu Lulia, are you still there, Bu?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Ya, thank you Bu Lulia. Bu Lulia, Bu Lulia tadi apa Bu Devi ya yang sebentar. Wait.
Bu Devi.
Oh, Bu Devi ya. Sorry.
Teaching method, ma'am.
Oke, ya Bu. Ini kok hilang ya. Oke, Bu Devi. Bu Lulia
Yes,
tadi
ma'am.
tentang ya. As the teacher, we are play the important role to design the effective lesson plan. And there are 4 main issues or main consideration before designing the effective lesson plan. The first is about how well we understand about the concept of lesson plan, and the second one is about how well we know the component of lesson plan and also the principle, and the last is the stages of developing a lesson plan. What I want to ask you, Ibu, according to you, what principles of designing lesson plan that you have experienced so far? Halo.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me or Bu Luli, ma'am?
For For Bu Devi ya. Sorry.
Oh.
And the last for Bu Lulia, ya itu tadi itu sebentar Pak. Saya lihat note-nya sebentar.
Okay.
Sorry. Let me wait. Okay, Bu Mada, Bu Devi, Bu Lulia. Okay. Tadi and the second one is Bu Lulia, and the last one is for Bu. Sorry, the second one is for Bu Devi, and now my question is for Bu Lulia. Bu Lulia. Okay. Okay, Bu Lulia, are you still there? Hello. Hello.
Yes, I'm here, ma'am.
Okay, Bu Lulia.
Yes.
When selecting learning media, is it correct? You presented about the learning media, ya, Bu?
Yes, right.
Okay. When selecting learning media for EFL students, it is very essential for us to consider their language proficiency levels, interest, and learning style. You have already mentioned 3 of them, and I totally agree with that.
Yes.
And my question is, what parameters that you will use to consider about how effective learning media that you use? Because if I'm not mistaken, you emphasize on using modern learning media as the best one, ya Bu ya, kalau nggak salah ya. Halo?
Yes.
Yeah. You mentioned that the modern learning media is the best one. It means that is the best the same as the effective one, Bu?
Not,
Okay. If you said no, please.
not too muchnya. I mean,
Yeah.
depend on the conditional of school, I think.
Oh,
But
school. So
multimedia is the best, still the best one because relate to now technology era technology now is still the best one because I think our student now in this day is very familiar with the technology, with
okay, Bu.
multimedia.
Okay, yeah. Learning media is used for the student. It
Yes.
means that our consideration is not merely on the condition of era, but the condition of the students, right?
Yes, right.
Okay. So what is what is the effective learning media according to Bululia in this case? Because you agree with me that the best media is not always, it does not mean effective. So what is the effective learning media for EFL student according to Bululia?
It's depend on the topic, I think.
So the effective media comes along with the topic of learning.
Yeah,
Is it so?
Yes.
Okay.
Topic.
The topic of learning?
Yes.
Yeah.
For example, if we want to we want to teach speaking, we can use application or we can use podcast. Maybe if we want to teach writing, we can use now there are more application. There are Canva. What
Okay.
else? Apa lagi ya itu ya? Picture.
Yes.
Yes. YouTube and other multimedia.
So in this case, It means that you reject your explanation that sebentar
What?
saya.
My explanation, where is my explanation?
Yeah, you explain to us that
Yes.
there are three
Three.
three points that we have to consider in designing effective learning media.
Yes. What?
They are, the first is the students' language proficiency levels, yeah,
Yes. Yes.
and the student interest, and also the learning style of the student. Is it right,
Yes.
Bu?
Yes. Right.
So now you add one more point about the what's it about the consideration. So actually there are um, four consideration in designing effective learning media. Apa tadi, language proficiency levels, interest, learning style, and the topic of learning, ya Bu ya.
And the topic, yes.
Ya, tambahin lagi ya. So, yeah,
Yes.
if you said
I think
four,
it's
yeah,
depend on the topic too.
yeah. So there are four, yeah, not three. Okay, Bu, thank you. Yeah, I totally agree that the basic consideration for us as a teacher in designing learning media, there are four considerations. The first is the student language proficiency levels and the student's interest and the student's learning style and the topic of learning. Thank you, Bu Lulia.
Thank
And
you.
now, yeah, while waiting for Bu Mada, are you still there?
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to
Okay,
answer your question, ma'am.
okay, yeah,
Okay. Okay. It's based on my opinion, right? So, in my
yes,
opinion, the effective lesson plan, uh, the lesson plan should accommodate student interests and learning styles that make a difference in student achievement and engagement. And the effective lesson plan also indicated by the correlation between each component and the assessment result itself. If the assessment result shows good result, means our student able to achieve the objectives of the learning of the lesson, we can say that the our lesson plan is effective. So to know that ours is effective or not, we can conduct the reflection stage by having discussion and collaborating with our students. That's all in my opinion, ma'am.
yeah. I totally agree with your answer, Bu. That's the basic parameters for us to assess our lesson plan, whether it is effective or not. We can use what you have mentioned, and I can add one, the use of technology. If the lesson plan if our lesson plan reflect using certain technology, it means that our lesson plan goes to be effective. Why? Because using technology help the teacher to hold the effective learning and teaching activities. Okay,
Okay.
thank you, Bu Mada. And now,
Yes.
Bu Devi, yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
yes,
Okay. The principle
yes,
in designing lesson plan based on my experience,
okay,
the first is I think we me consider about the individual differences in our class. I mean the students cognitive level, the students basic knowledge, and about the students background culture. We have to consider that. And then after that, I decide clear objectives, learning objectives.
okay,
And then after that, we decide the activities, fostering
yes,
active
yes,
participation from the student.
Yes.
And then the teaching method related
Yes.
with the media, and
Yeah.
after that the assessment.
Yes.
In the assessment, we should provide a feedback reinforcement for our students. I think that's based on my experience, ma'am.
Okay.
in
Cool,
designing
Bu.
lesson
Yeah,
plan.
I totally agree with your answers. That what I want to underline in this case is there are various principles in designing effective lesson plan, but the big or the biggest principle, oh sorry, the very basic principle is promoting meaningful learning experiences for the student. That's the top consideration, the top principle for us when designing the effective lesson plan. So our lesson plan has to promote the meaningful learning experiences for the student. Okay, thank you for the group 2 has already presented in very excellent way and responding the question good.
Most
Now,
welcome,
yeah,
ma'am.
okay,
Thank
yeah,
you.
give applause, yeah. Now for the second, sorry,
Me,
for the
maybe.
second group is
Me,
what
maybe,
that?
sir.
Oh, Pak Roy, Putri
Yes.
and Pak Roy, okay, about unit design. Okay, Pak, go ahead.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Okay, thank you very
wabarakatuh.
much for your time. Now I, with Mrs. Tri, will explain about designing effective lesson plans. Next. Designing effective lesson plans. We will explore the importance of lesson planning and discuss key components for creating engaging and impactful lessons. Next, the importance of lesson planning. Effective lesson planning is essential for creating a structured and well-organized learning experience. It allows the teachers to provide clear objectives, engage students, and ensure meaningful learning outcomes. Effective lesson planning can also contribute to the teacher's own success and well-being. Teachers teach because they want to support students, and effective lesson planning can contribute to job. Okay, the component of effective lesson plan, number one, is clear the objective. Well-defined learning objective from the foundation of a lesson plan, guiding teachers in what students should be able to achieve by the end of the lesson. Learning objectives, also known as learning outcome, are essential for effective learning. They help to articulate what students should be able to do as a result of the instruction and consequently aid in designing more effective instruction planning activities and assessment based on Ground Law 2000. And then number two, engaging teaching strategies. Choosing appropriate teaching strategies helps capture student attention and foster an interactive and participatory learning environment. Effective teaching strategies are the method, procedures, or various processes an educator uses during classroom instruction. These strategies are the vehicle to which students drive their instruction to meet standards and reach their student educational needs. Encourage students to become actively engaged with the material and help them develop critical thinking skill. It also fosters creativity and innovation among students as they are encouraged to think outside of the box when approaching a certain topic or problem. And then number 3 is effective resources. Selecting relevant and diverse resources such as visual aid and technology tools enhance student understanding and engagement with the subject matter. Effective educational resources convey important ideas about teaching and learning in ways that can be understood and implemented in the classroom. They are deliberately designed to help teachers, students, the insight from research and their implication for practice. Next. Setting objective and goal. Setting clear objective and goal align lesson with curriculum standard and students understand what they will learn. It allows from target instruction and measurable student progress. Setting a goal lets you focus on the next step and help you move in the direction you want. The body follows the mind, so you need to stay focused and not lose motivation. Be always aware of why you should take specific action and whether they will let you could allow you to measure progress. Next. Choosing appropriate teaching strategies and resources, effective lesson planning, improve selecting teaching strategies and resources that cater to student learning style, promote critical thinking, and encourage active participation. Number 1 is collaboration learning. Well-defined learning objective from the foundation of lesson plan, guiding teachers in what students should be able to achieve by the end of the lesson. And then number 2, visual aid. Choosing appropriate teaching strategies help capture student attention and foster an interactive and participatory learning environment. Number 3, interrogation. Selecting relevant and diverse resources, such as visual aid and technology tools, enhance student understanding and engagement with the subject matter. Next. For next, I will turn to Ms. Tri to continue the presentation.
Thank you, Pak Mr. Squeezing and organizing the lesson content in logical order allow for smooth transition between topics, building on prior knowledge and ensure a coherent learning experience. There is 3 parts. Number 1, introduction. Chapter student attention provide context and establish the purpose of the lesson. Number 2, main activity, present new information, engage student in activities and facilities guided practice. And number 3, conclusion. Summarize case concept, allow for student reflection, and provide closure to the lesson. And then next, assessment and evaluation in planning. Incorporating various assessment methods, both of formative and summative. Within the lesson plan, enables teachers to judge student understanding and evaluate the effectiveness of their interaction. Assessment is integral part of interaction as it determines whether or not the goals of the education are being met. Assessment effective decides about grades, placement, and assessment interaction needs, curriculum, and some case funding. Incorporate various assessment methods in summative and formative. And then next, reflection. Reflection and continue improvement in lesson plan. Reflection on teacher practice. Reflection on teaching practice and seeing feedback from student and college allows educator to refine lesson plan and adapt interactional strategies and continuously improve their teaching. Developing a culture of reflective practice improve school by creating a strong improvement their teaching. Development a culture of reflection practice improve school by creating a strong foundation for continuously improving teacher and learning. It sends the message that learning is important for both students and teachers, and that everyone is committed to support it. I make three part in the reflection. For number 1, self-reflection. Evaluate the effectiveness of lesson, identify areas for improvement and make necessary adjustment. There is evaluate the effective of lesson, identify areas for improvement and make necessary adjustment. Self-reflection is an important part of that can make you a good teacher and good be highly valuable. It gives you time to think deeply about your teacher, about your do in the classroom, why you do it and why it works, enabling you to identify any change and improvement you could make. Number 2, peer collaboration. It's in professional dialogue with colleagues, share best practice and learn from each other to enhance lesson plan. Peer can offer support, guidance to advance to one another. This collaboration can develop a wide range of skills such as working with the other, cooperation, listening, and leadership. Working with peers can help to develop positive relationship in the classroom, especially outside of their no no friendship groups. Number 3, students feedback. Social input from students, listening to their perspectives and use their feedback to improve instructional practice. Feedback is information a teacher or another speaker, including another leaders, give to learners on how to well they're doing, either to help the learner improve specific points or to help plan their learning. Studies have shown that formative process-oriented feedback that is focused on accomplishment is more effective than summative feedback, such as letter grades, and also leads to greater interest in the class material. Feedback assists all students in understanding to subject matter and provides clear guidance on how to improve their learning procedure. Feedback can help students gain confidence, self-awareness, and enthusiasm for what they are learning. The last presentation, thank you very much.
Now we will back to Miss Ais.
Yeah, thank you, Pak Roy, for a very good presentation. Now, my simple question for Pak Roy. In your own words, what is actually the lesson plan, the effective lesson plan according to you, Pak? Effective lesson plan. Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
According to me,
Yes.
about what is the effective of lesson plans.
The effective lesson plan.
The effective of lesson plan is if lesson plan is suitable with the material, with how to create the process of learning and teaching in the classroom is become run well, and then there is a contribution about the material. There is a feedback from the teacher and also the student about the result of the student, and then the student can be able to understand what the material give to by the teacher, like this one, ma'am.
Okay, cool, Pak. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad that you have the linear perception about the effective lesson plan. Actually, an effective lesson plan is a well-structured design guidance for teaching and specific topic, or it is a roadmap for teacher to facilitate meaningful learning for the students. Thank you, Pak. And now
Yes,
for Putri, what
Yes,
is effective assessment for you, Putri?
Is effective assessment formative and summative, ma'am. But now I'm not in regular school. I make independent lembaga pendidikan luar sekolah, ma'am.
Okay, yeah.
Same.
Okay,
I
yeah.
make this an effective lesson plan myself and my friend, because my student is not regular, but I'm joined in differentiation student. I make effective lesson plan, not the same with the regular from school, but I'm collaborated with the school because I looking the report from hospital psychology this student. When we are when the student can follow this program regular, it's okay. But I look the report when the apa Binet and then IQ, and then how to join with class. Maybe she is or he is ADHD. We can not all the time the join with a regular class. Maybe sometime in the hour 1 hour or 3 hour we can include maybe physical or mathematics subject is not the same because in differentiasi is not follow this program. Biasanya untuk exact subject is not include, ma'am.
Kecilkan.
Ya, itu
Oke.
desainnya berbeda untuk tahun ini.
Oke.
I make myself with my friend because we are independent school, not join another school.
Okay, that's all, Ibu.
Yes.
Putri. Okay. What I mean is effective assessment, Ibu. Effective assessment refers to a systematic and meaningful of analyzing and evaluating what the student have already understood, or what the student already known, and what the student have already accomplished. That's what I mean as effective assessment. So it is the systematic evaluation analysis of the progress of the student learning achievement. Itu nggih, Bu. Okay, thank you, Putri.
Disederhanakan, ma'am.
Yes, yeah. Thank you, Putri. Now for I invite the next group of presentation. It is Pak Iman and Bu and Entin kah? Gitu kah?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Pak Roy and Putri.
Thank you, Ma'am.
Yeah, for
Assalamualaikum
very good.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, Pak Iman and Bu Entin.
Ma'am, I'm sorry.
Yes, hold on, ma'am.
Okay, Pak.
I have to pull over. Bu Entin, do you mind to share screen it for me?
Okay.
Gak lah kok fotoku sih muncul. Are we ready to end it?
Okay.
Wait, my laptop is moving around. Need a few seconds. All right, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Ma'am Layla. Mom Aisha, sorry. Glad to have you all here. This time that my group will conduct an integrating language skill as a guide to effective lesson planning. At the first time, you may slide it, the first one, who ended. Next slide, who ended. As we know that integrated skills learning as important planning a lesson because they contribute to a more live environment for both teachers and learners, making learning more meaningful and motivating. The integrated skill approach, or ISA, incorporates the four language skills. It is reading, writing, speaking, and listening. The same reason for integrating the formal skill classes include reflecting the relationship between language, culture, and society, where we can be focusing on what learners can do with a language, reinforcing one skill another, leading to more efficient learning, preparing the student for real life situation when they need to use English fluently and accurately. On the other hand, we can support the connection between language and emotion, thought, and action. To integrate the four main language skills in your teaching, you may consider the following start strategies. First, you should aim ultimately to preserve accuracy while still making use of authentic communicative activities. The second one, to provide opportunities for students to engage and experiment with the language they see in a more realistic way. Number three, the third strategies is help students improve their English more broadly for key English exam, such as Trinity ISE, which focus specifically on students' ability to draw on all their knowledge of using English. The fourth, try to maximize opportunities for practice and personalizations of the language and topics in your classes. The fifth, prioritize errors that impact communication or try to identify common pronunciation errors in multilingual class. By incorporating integrated language skill in lesson planning, teachers can create a more engaging and effective learning experience for their students, ultimately improving their communicative competence. Next. When we are going to discuss about understanding the language skill. An overview for 4 language skill, listening, speaking, reading, and writing has already been known for us, and we have already known each of the importance of the skills, the listening skills, speaking skills, reading skills, and writing skills. The importance of balancing each skill in language learning is the most important, Balancing 4 skills of English in lesson planning is crucial for effective language learning and teaching. These 4 skills are listening, speaking, reading, and writing. The importance of focusing on these skills can be summarized. The first one is comprehensive language development. By incorporating all 4 skills into lesson planning, teachers ensure that students develop a well-rounded understanding of the language, which is the essential of effective communications and problem solving. The second one, scaffolded support. 4 skills activity provide learners with opportunities to develop its skill in a supported environment, allowing them to create, practice, and contextualize their language learning. The third one, integration of language, culture, and experience. Activities that focus on the 4 skills help learners to connect language with culture, experiences, and learning strategies, fostering a more holistic understanding of the language. The fourth one is preparation for real life situations. Balanced lesson planning ensure that students are prepared for various situations they may encounter in their personal, educational, and professional lives. The fifth, enhanced assessment. Testing all 4 skills allows the teachers and learners to take a balanced approach to a language learning, ensuring that they are assessed fairly and accurately on their overall language proficiency. To plan lessons that focus on all 4 skills, teachers can design activities that involve listening, speaking, reading, and writing simultaneously, such as group discussion, role-playing scenarios, or reading and writing tasks. Use variety of resources and materials can cater to different learning styles and promote the use of all 4 skills. Encourage students to practice and apply the skill in real-life contexts, such as through project-based learning or presentations. Provide concrete and step-by-step support, or scaffolding it is called, in daily classes based on usage situations and learners' needs. Okay? By incorporating these strategies, as already mentioned above, I've already mentioned at the beginning, into lesson planning, teachers can create a well-balanced and comprehensive learning experiences for their students, ultimately leading to improved language proficiency and practical skills for various situations. Next, we are going to talk about enhancing communication abilities. Enhancing communication abilities is a crucial goal when integrating language skills. Okay, then here are the strategies within the lesson plan. First of all, emphasize real-life communication. You should focus on activities that mimic real-life communication scenarios. Use authentic materials like articles, videos, podcasts that reflects genuine communication styles and contexts. The second one, foster speaking and listening integration. Encourage speaking and listening activities that promote interactive communication, pair or group discussion, role plays, debates, presentation facilitate language use in meaningful contexts. The third one, encourage collaborative learning. Incorporate group projects or collaborative tasks where the students must communicate and negotiate meaning with peers. Use activities that require cooperation, problem solving, promoting language used for achieving common goals. The fourth one is provide constructive feedback. We need a constructive feedback. Offer specific and constructive feedback on language use, focusing on both accuracy and fluency. And peer assessment to enhance communication skill. The fifth is use varied speaking tasks. Over a range of speaking tasks targeting different communication purposes. Different purposes in informative, persuasive, narrative. Vary the setting and context for speaking tasks to develop adaptability in communication. The sixth one, incorporate authentic assessment. Design assessment that mirror real communication situations. Assess students' ability to communicate ideas effectively rather than just testing grammar or vocabularies. Right? Seventh, cultivate critical thinking skills. Encourage discussions that require critical thinking and problem solving. Try to engage students in analyzing and evaluating informations, expressing opinions, and supporting arguments. All right. The last one, try to scaffold language use. Provide support structures like sentences starters, vocabulary banks, or discussion prompts to assist students in expressing themselves effectively. Gradually remove scaffolding as a student become more confident in their communication skill, right? By incorporating these strategies in lesson planning, educators can create a conducive environment for students to enhance their communication abilities while integrating various language skills effectively. Developing holistic language proficiency within the context of integrated language skills involve nurturing a comprehensive mastery of the language. Now, here's how you can achieve this goal within your lesson plan. First of all, balance the skill integration. ensure a balanced approach to integrating listening, speaking, reading, and writing skill with the lesson. Design activities, as I already told you, require use the multiple skills simultaneously to stimulate real world. Hello,
Yeah. Yes.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you
Oh,
clearly.
sorry.
Yeah. Okay, Pak.
Well, focus on language functions. Emphasize teaching language in a functional context, focusing on how language is used for specific purposes, like requests, giving opinions, and etc. Incorporate activities that allow students to practice this function across different skills. The third one is about context learning. Provide learning experiences that connect language skills to real life context. Use authentic materials and situations that reflect the language as it is used in everyday life, professions, or cultural settings. Vocabulary expansion and language structures introduce and reinforce vocabulary and grammar structures in varied contexts and across different skills. Provide opportunities for students to practice using new vocabularies, structures in speaking, writing, reading, listening activities. While the language fluency and accuracy encourage them through activities that prioritize communication over accuracy initially. Gradually shift them. Shift the focus to accuracy as students gain confidence, emphasizing the correct use of language structures and vocabularies. While multimodal learning resources is needed, incorporate diverse resources such as videos, audio, clips, images, text to cater to different learning styles. Use the technology to offer interactive and multimedia rich learning experiences. Differentiated instructions can recognize and cater to diverse learner needs by providing varied activities that allow students to approach language learning in ways that suit them best. It will offer opportunities for extension and enrichment for advanced learners while providing support for those who need extra assistance. Reflective practice and self-assessment is to encourage students to reflect on their language learning journey while they are studying, while they are learning. They will have a reflection learning journey, identifying areas of strength and areas for improvement. It can foster the self-assessment practices where students can track their language proficiency. They will see their own ability, growth, and set personal language learning goals. By incorporating these strategies into lesson planning, education can create an environment and nurtures holistic language proficiency, ensuring students develop a well-rounded mastery of language skill across listening, the four skill, right? Now, we are going to the sections of fostering critical thinking and problem solving. Fostering critical and problem-solving skills alongside language skill integration can greatly enhance students' overall language proficiency. How to achieve that? Let me tell you. First of all, engage in analytical discussions. All right. Encourage discussion that require analysis, evaluation, and interpretations of information. Pose open-ended, okay, not close-ended, but pose. Give an open-ended questions that prompt students to think critically and express their opinion based on evidence. Use authentic materials. Incorporate authentic texts, articles, videos, or real-world scenarios that present problems or challenges relevant to students' life or interests. Encourage students to extract informations, infer meaning, and solve problems within this context, right? While using the authentic materials. Now we are going to move to task-based learning. Implement task-based activities that require problem solving, decision making, and critical thinking skills. Designing tasks that necessitate using language skill to solve a problem or complete a task collaboratively. The next, how to achieve the critical thinking and problem solving is holding a debate and argumentation. You can organize debates or argumentative discussions where students must support their viewpoints using evidences. You should encourage respectful disagreement and constructive criticism to enhance critical thinking in expressing opinions. That was the task-based learning. Now we are going to project-based learning. Project and task-based learning is quite different. Project-based learning integrate language skill into projects that involve research, planning, and problem solving that allows students to explore topics of interest and find solutions using language in various forms, such as presentations, reports, and etc. Try to create Socratic questioning. Incorporate Socratic questioning techniques to prompt deeper thinking and reflections. Encourage students to ask probing questions that stimulate critical thinking during discussions and activities. The next one is cognitive challenges. Provide tasks or activities that challenge students' cognitive abilities. Require them to analyze, to synthesize, and evaluate information. You can offer support and guidance as students navigate through complex language-related problem-solving tasks. Okay. Now we're going to move to reflective activities. Include reflections as part of the as the learning process. Allow your students to analyze their problem-solving approaches, language use, and critical thinking skills. Encourage self-assessment and peer feedback to promote metacognition. Okay. By interviewing these strategies, as that I have already given, into skill integration, educators can create an environment that not only enhance language proficiency, but also nurtures critical thinking and problem-solving skill essentials for student academic real-world success. Now we're going to the next slide. It's about principal effective integration. Hopefully you are not sleepy listening to my voice.
No, Pak.
All right, we are going to go to principle of effective integration. Try to identify clear learning objective. Identifying clear learning objective is a fundamental step in the principle of effectiveness when integrating language skill. Clear learning objectives provide a roadmap, okay? The clear learning objectives will provide a roadmap for designing and implementing instructional activities. How to identify it? First of all, understand the purpose of the lesson. Try to understand the purpose. Clearly define the purpose of the lesson. Ask yourself as a lecturer or as a teacher, what do I want my students to achieve by the end of the lessons? Okay, that is the first step to identify clear learning objectives. Consider whether the lesson is focused on developing a specific language skill, such as exploring a particular theme or achieving a broader learning outcome, right? The second one, to identify clear learning objectives, is align with curriculum standards. Ensure that your learning objective align with the relevant curriculum or language proficiency standard. Clearly state which standard or benchmark the lesson aims to address, okay? The next one, how to identify it, to be specific and measurable. Use specific and measurable language in your learning objective. Avoid vague terms that may lead to ambiguity. Consider how you will assess or measure the achievement of its objective. The fourth one is address different language skills. If the lesson involves integrating multiple language skills, identify specific objectives for each skill. The fourth skill, listening, speaking, reading, and writing, right? Identify the specific objective. For example, if your lesson integrates reading and writing, specify the reading comprehension and writing skills you aim to develop. The next one, the fifth one, is to consider the cognitive level. Use Bloom taxonomy or a similar framework to guide the cognitive level or of your objective. This ensure a balance between lower order and high order thinking skills. Objective can range from remembering and understanding to applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. The next step is try to focus on language functions. Identify the language functions you want students to master. Okay? This can include making requests, giving opinions, narrating events, or
asking questions. To specific tasks, activities within the lesson. The next one is to prioritize essential content. Determine the key content or information that students should grasp during the lesson. Prioritize essential concept, vocabulary, or language structures that align with the overall learning objectives. The next one, how to identify it, is use the action verbs. Frame your learning objectives with clear and actionable verbs that describe observable behaviors. Common verbs include analyze, create, compare, describe, evaluate, and apply. Try to consider relevance to students. Ensure that the learning objectives are relevant and meaningful to the student's life and interests. Connect the objective to real with application whenever possible. You can do. The last one to identify it is to communicate clearly to students. Try to communicate them. When sharing learning objective with students, using language that is accessible and understandable to them. Use as usual language or simple language to them. Make sure students understand what is expected of them by the end of the lesson. All right. By the following this principle, educators can create clear and focused learning objectives that serve as a foundation for effective integration of language. Try to utilize authentic materials and context, because utilizing authentic materials and context is crucial for creating engaging and meaningful language learning experiences. All right? Try to utilize the authentic materials and context. There are several steps to achieve how to utilize the authentic materials and context. First of all, I will give you at a glance as it is seen in the presentations. Sit, Bu Endin, are you there? Bu Endin? Hello,
Halo Bu Entin.
Bu Endin?
Oh,
Are
Okay,
you okay?
ready? Yeah.
Are you all right, Bu?
alright.
Okay, Bu, go ahead.
Is everyone okay?
I am sleepy. Listening Mr. Iman voice.
Dongeng aku dah. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Just try to clarify a single, to clarify as possible.
Okay, good, Pak. Very good. Okay, Bu Entin.
Okay.
Is it
You want
possible you to continue my mumbling?
okay,
Is
I
it
will.
possible, Bu?
Huh? Okay, I will be continue our presentation. Strategy for integrating scale. Text-based learning, or TBL, is an educational approach that focus on learning such the
We have already there, Bu. We
Iya,
have already there.
gimana Bu?
Sudah, kita
Pak
sudah ada di
Iman
situ.
iya sudah di situ.
Sudah selesai itu, Bu. Lagi, Bu.
Okay.
Lesson plan.
You
means
can
that-
conclude. Bu Bu Entin, you can conclude
Miss
your.
Eti sleepy.
You can make the conclusion
Ini ya,
Come to
because
conclusion, Bu
everything,
Entin.
yeah.
It's okay, Bu.
and then it's punya saya.
You
Oke,
make-
lesson plan. Wait. Okay, lesson planning framework. I'm sorry guys, I want to continue our presentation. Lesson planning framework. The first is identify learning objective, select relevant content and materials, and design activity for skill integration, and assess and reflect on learning outcomes. And then sample lesson plan. Objective, integrating reading and speaking skill, and then introduction to topic and reading activity, authentic text, and then discussion and speaking text, and evaluation and feedback. And then practical tips for teachers. Flexibility, flexibility in lesson execution empowers teachers to respond to the ever-changing needs of students, ensuring that learning remains engaging, effective, and student-centered. Encouraging student autonomy foster independence, motivation, and a deeper engagement with the learning process. Here are some tips for teachers to foster flexibility in their teaching. The first is be responsive to students' needs. Monitor student progress and understanding during lessons. Be ready to adjust the pace, depth, and direction of the lesson based on their responses and comprehension. And two, have alternative plans ready. Prepare alternative activity or approach and advance the set and different learning styles, abilities, and technical uses. Discussion taking longer and anticipate and etc. And then and three, embrace improvisation. When the necessary, if an opportunity arises for an discussion or suitable moment, be open to the lesson plan and accommodate it. And four, the student input and choice involve student in decision making when appropriate. Allow them to contribute ideas, topic, and or to learning and essence ownership and engagement. And five, use formative assessment. Use assessment techniques to guide understanding the lesson. Adjust your teaching based on the assessment to address where student may need more support of or clarification. And for six, adapt teaching strategy. Modify teaching strategy based on student responses. If a particular method is resounding with the class, be prepared to switch to a different approach they might better suit their needs. And seven, be open to technology integration. Incorporate technology when in it learning experiences, flexibility, and utilizing digital tools and dynamics to listen and cater to diverse learning styles. And emphasis learning objective, not just activities. Keep the learning objective in mind and be flexible So, objective, focus on learning outcomes rather than two set of activities. And 9, reflect and adjust. Reflect on each lesson effectiveness after it concludes. Consider the work of will and could be improved, and then adjust future lesson accordingly. And the last, adapt to classroom dynamics. Understand that each class has its unique dynamics. Adapt teaching methods, grouping, and integration based on specific needs and personalities within the class. And then, hello, can you hear my
Yeah,
voice?
yeah,
Okay,
I hear you.
okay, I continue. Challenges and solution. Balancing the integration of language skill within time requires to, the thoughtful planning, efficient utilization of resources, and a focus in high impact activities that yield the most significant learning outcomes for students. Resource limitations and significancy impact the effective integration of language skills in education. Hereas I will be explain strategy to manage the challenge in integration skill. The first is prioritize learning objective. Identify and prioritize essential learning objective for learning language skills integration. Focus on key language skills and competence that align with educational goals. And then two, integrating skills. For activities that integrate multiple language skill simulation, for instance, exercise the combined reading and writing or listening and speaking activities. And three, lesson effectively. Break down complex language text lesson in management context strategy and maximize learning within limit time frames. And for use time efficient strategy, employ strategy and maximize efficiency without compromising learning quality. Use bright target activity or employ techniques like think, pair, share to cover more ground in less time. And number 5, embrace flexible learning formats. Consider blended learning or classroom models allow students to with some materials outside of class, freeing up in the class time for activities, skill integration, and then focus on high impact activity. Prioritize activity that have the most significant impact on language skill development. Choose activities that offer comprehensive practice and application of multiple skills. And 7, utilize technology wisely. Incorporate technology to streamline text, automate assessment of or offer additional practice opportunity outside class time, maximizing the effectiveness in class activities, and share resources. Collaborate with uh, the share resources, lesson plan, or activity that have proven effective in integrating language skill within limit time frames, and foster students' autonomy. Students to take of our ownership of their learning process, assign self-directed tasks or projects to allow students to practice language skill independently. And the last one, regularly assessment and adjust. Assess the effectiveness of your teaching strategies. Mark based on the feedback and observations to optimize time spent on skill integration. And okay, so and then conclusion, recap of key points, and then importance of integrating language skill and environment for implementation in teaching practice. And the last one, open floor question and discussion. That's all for me, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, time is running fast. So for Pak Iman, are you still there, Pak?
Yes, ma'am. I'm
Okay.
still here.
Yeah, I'm very interested with the scaffolding sport and also the scaffolding language use that you have already mentioned in your presentation. My question is so simple, Pak. What is the purpose of incorporating the scaffolding support into the design of the effective lesson plan? And what is actually the effective scaffolding of language used for EFL students? And for Bu Entin, hello? Yeah. In your slide, I read that there are challenges and solutions. How should the EFL teacher of remote school do to overcome the resource limitation? Yeah, because in the slide, what it is, the 15, the slide of 15, you mentioned challenges and solution. My question is because the last sentence of your slide here, resource limitation can significantly impact. So my question is, how should the EFL teacher of remote school, guru yang ada di pelosok ya, how should the EFL teacher of remote school do to overcome the resource limitation, Bu? Okay. Who wants to
Ma'am
be
Ais?
the first? Yeah.
Yeah. Could you give me one more sentence?
Okay, Pak.
One more time, Bu.
Yeah, you mentioned about scaffolding support and also scaffolding language use, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, ya, Pak, ya. Okay. What is the purpose of incorporating the scaffolding support into designing the effective lesson plan? And what is actually the effective scaffolding of language use for EFL students?
Okay. Scaffolding here means to escalate the ability, Bu.
Yeah,
to escalate their ability in integrating the language skill. It means that we should know about the style we are going to use. The assessment, it becomes the most important thing, even though we try to scaffold them. The assessment of formative and summative is the most important, still the most important. Well, the impact of scaffolding the students the ability of the students, they will see the process.
Okay.
They will enjoy the process naturally.
Okay.
Unconsciously, they will escalate their fluency.
Okay.
Fluency in reading, fluency in speaking, with unconsciously, Bu.
Yeah.
That is my answer.
Okay, Pak. So incorporating scaffolding support into the design of effective lesson plan means that the teacher wants to ensure that the student will receive the necessary assistance ya Pak to achieve the intended learning outcomes. Gitu ya Pak ya?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So
Precisely.
scaffolding support in this case to help the student to achieve their best learning achievement. Okay.
Yes.
And the concrete form of effective scaffolding of language use Pak for EFL student itu yang I did still cannot catch the point of your answer. What is the
Okay.
effective scaffolding of language use for EFL students, Pak?
Try to use the real life task, ya, Bu.
Real life tasks, yeah.
Real life tasks,
Yeah.
such as using the vlog, Try to describe your room.
Okay.
Try to take us to place that you are already known the best one.
Okay.
Itu akan membuat
It's okay.
that will make them feel comfort.
Okay.
And not being feared to make mistakes.
Okay.
Then use the real life task kalau saya sih.
Okay.
This is the scaffolding way.
Yeah. So the scaffolding of language used for EFL student, any helpers that are meaningful for the student. So in this case, the student have sense of belonging of that helpers, gitu ya Pak?
Yes, betul Bu. Nah,
Okay.
itu bahasanya agak sulit saya ngomong.
Okay, Pak. Okay, thank you
Yes,
for
that's my point, Bu.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Pak, for excellent explanation that make Pak Roy sleep.
Guys, I'm sorry.
I am here. I always listening Miss Iman talking.
Now, Bu Entin, are you sleeping or what?
Aduh, saya merusak kelas ini.
Ya, Bu Entin.
Oke, langsung apa?
Mas Iman, calm down, Mas.
The first is explore outdoor learning or use community space for language related project or experiences, ma'am, right, ma'am?
Okay. Yeah. So how should the EFL teacher of remote school do to overcome the resource limitation? In this case, Bu, the teacher can create the resource learning based on the characteristic of the student and also the characteristic of the learning environment. Jadi itu jawabannya ya Bu. Jadi bagaimana guru EFL yang ada di sekolah terpencil itu mengatasi keterbatasan sumber belajar, sumber informasi. Itu bisa with creativity ya, with create learning resources based on the characteristic of the student and also the characteristic of the situation. Anything around the student can be created as the resource of learning ya Bu ya.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you for Pak Iman and Bu Enti. Now the last presentation is from Bu Ibat ya? Bukan ya? Halo, Bu Ibat.
Yes,
That
ma'am.
is the last one, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh ya, yeah. After Pak Iman is Bu Ibat.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay Bu. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I will share my PPT. Okay, it's already visible on the screen, ma'am.
I can see it clearly.
No?
Yeah,
Yes?
yeah. How to
Okay.
design effective lesson plan? Okay,
Yes.
Bu. Start.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, everyone. I will be presenting my material. My partner are Pak Ruji and Ibu Tiara, but absent, ma'am. And now I will presenting my material entitled How to Design Effective Lesson Plan. And yes, the first is introduction, a definition of lesson plan, the importance of understanding lesson plan, component of the lesson plan, designing an effective lesson plan, and the last conclusion. The first introduction. The most crucial and first thing before doing an activity or event is making a plan. Teachers also need a plan for their teaching. Generally, it is known as a lesson plan. Lesson plan is very important stage in preparing for the lesson. Lesson plan is the instructional roadmap of what a student needs to learn and how it will be done effectively during class time. That is why if a teacher has a well-designed lesson plan, he or she will be able to achieve the lesson's outcome. And definition of lesson plan. Lesson plan is the instructor's roadmap of what students need to learn and how it will be done effectively during class time. Spratt, Fulburness, and William pointed out that a lesson plan is a series of course plans that provide direction for a teacher on what kind of materials to study and how to teach them. A lesson plan provides teacher with a general outline of their teaching goals, learning objective, and means to accomplish them. That is why if a teacher has a well-designed lesson plan, he or she will be able to achieve the lesson's outcome. And the importance of understanding lesson plan. Teacher and lecturer require that teacher have the first pedagogical competence, second personality competence, social competence, and professional competence. The ability or proficiency of educator in managing learning systematically is closely related to pedagogical competence, including planning, implementation, and evaluation in a series of teaching and learning activities. So, the ability to design lesson plan is part of the pedagogical competence that must be possessed by a teacher. And component of the lesson plan. The three essential components of lesson plan other components are complementary and can be chosen independently. Our learning objective, learning activity, and assessment. Commanded would state that there is no specific standard. Teachers are free to make teaching develop and use lesson plan according to the principle of efficiency, effectiveness, and student-orientedness. Efficiency means that lesson plan writing is done appropriately and does not consume a lot of time and energy. Effectiveness means that lesson plan writing is done to achieve learning objectives.
And student-oriented means that lesson plan writing is done by considering student readiness, interest, and learning in the classroom. And designing an effective lesson plan. According to Kemendikbud 2019, effective lesson plan means that lesson plan are written to achieve common learning objective. To extend this, we will cite several theory, including the first a journal by helping teach each other and coordinate to a bus schedule entitled Lesson Plan Competency has expired that effective lesson plan lesson alignment between objective, learning activity, and assessment. Learning objective will help to determine the type of teaching and learning activity you will use in the classroom. And the learning activity will determine how you will check whether the learning objective have been achieved. Assessment can evaluate students' skill in listening, speaking, and reading, and service some remedial guidance feedback. And the second constitution theory reveals that an effective lesson plan makes students active in the learning process and learning subjective have been achieved. The strategy should include based on the applicable curriculum, taking into account the time available, a systematic sequence of teaching and learning activity, understanding the learning objective, understanding the learning material, determine the right media and method for learning. Maximizing different teaching style and being flexible. And the minimum design for lesson plan, the minimum design for a lesson plan is to fix an objective. Describe the learning objective is a process and detailed manner. And the second teaching procedure contains standards that must be fulfilled in each element of the learning activity as a follow introduction, main activity, and conclusion. Assessment of evaluating learning. Determine assessment techniques that are in accordance with the demand of curriculum. And the last is conclusion. The lesson plan play an important role in the learning process. The ability to design effective learning is one of the pedagogical competence. An effective lesson plan aims to ensure the achievement of learning objective. With a lesson plan, teacher can control what language material students need to learn and ensure that all activity and tasks will be created effectively during the learning time. Thank you, and that's all for me. Thank you very much, and I apologize if there are any mistakes. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Bu. Are you alone in presenting?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
Yes, ma'am,
so
because Pak Rudi and Bu Tiara absent, ma'am.
okay, Bu. Well, yeah, thank you, Bu Ipat. You please show us about your slide, the fifth slide, Bu.
The fifth slide, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really interested in analyzing this one: pedagogical competence, personality competence, social competence, and professional competence.
Yes.
What is your opinion? Is the pedagogical competence also influence the effective or not effective about lesson plan design?
Yes, according to me, the pedagogic competence is very influenced to make the effective lesson plan because a competency, pedagogical competency is the teacher ability or skill to manage the learning process or teaching and learning interaction with students. There are several aspects to pedagogical content that must be mastered, namely characteristics of the student learning children, typical education learning, curriculum development, educational learning, and
Yes.
development potential, and so
Yes.
on, and include the how to design a teacher or lecture make effective lesson plan.
Okay, I totally agree with your perception in this case. Now, can you tell us more about the personality competence also influence in designing the lesson plan? What kind of personality competence that the teacher have that can influence in designing the effective lesson plan in this case?
Personality in influence.
Yeah.
Uh,
According to you, is the personality competence of the teacher also influence the effectiveness of designing the lesson plan?
Yes, yes, right.
Okay, what kind of personality competence do you mean here, Bu?
What kind personality competence? Maksudnya apa, Mem ya?
Ini ada kompetensi personality ya.
Iya, yes.
Personality
Oh,
competence yang
okay,
seperti
second,
apa ya?
the second, Mem.
Iya,
Okay, sorry, Mem. Maybe I'm tired.
It's okay, Bu, ya. The last question deh, saya nggak mau yang itu aja dulu ya. Oke, Bu.
Kompetensi kepribadian. Yes, ma'am.
Iya.
Yes, ma'am. A very influence, ma'am. Because the personality competence is related to the teacher character, ma'am. Which must be possessed in order to be a role model for student, ma'am. Apart from that, teacher must also be able to educate the student to have them development good personality.
Okay. Yeah. That's all?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Ibu, personality ini kompetensi kepribadian kan maksudnya
Yes,
Ibu
yes.
ya? Kompetensi kepribadian itu mempengaruhi efektivitas in designing lesson plan, begitu ya?
Yes. I think but
Yeah.
But according to me,
Yeah.
according to me is very very apa ya, kayak lebih ke pedagogical. But if we discussion about how to make effective design lesson plan, is the focus influence the all aspect might be, but the essential of pedagogical competence.
Okay. Yeah. Your perception, your opinion is quite different with the previous presenters. The previous presenters explain has the same. Explain that there are three main indicators in assessing the effectiveness of the lesson plan design. Ada 4 tadi, sorry ya. The first is the student learning interest, the student learning style, and the topic of learning, and the student interest apa tadi ya? Oh ya, interest, and then saya juga blank, mulai merem-merem. The student interest, yeah, the student learning style, interest, characteristic, and needs ya. Tadi ya Bu ya, begitu ya jawabannya Bu Devi ya.
Yes, maybe Ma'am.
Iya. Oke. Saya ini akan tertarik juga nanti untuk mendalami ini, kita tidak memiliki cukup waktu ya Bu. Tentu ini yang Ibu sampaikan ini tentu ada berdasarkan dari Kemendikbud ya.
Yes,
Saya memiliki bukunya, cuma memang di situ ada perbedaan dengan philosophical of designing lesson plan sesungguhnya, karena itu kan berbasis kebutuhan tertentu dari Kemendikbud sehingga memasukkan personality competence. Saya tidak begitu agree with personality competence menentukan efektivitas dari sebuah lesson plan, karena lesson plan itu ditentukan efektif tidaknya itu ketika sampai di siswanya. Baik, tidak apa-apa Bu, tidak ada jawaban yang salah, tetapi semua memiliki literasi yang berbeda-beda ya, tingkat literasi dan keragaman literasi yang mendasari kita memiliki perbedaan persepsi tentang ini. Oke, terima kasih sudah presentasi dan memberikan saya new horizon about ini competence, 4 kompetensi ini yang membuat saya memiliki kebutuhan untuk mengelaborasi di tulisan saya berikutnya. Terima kasih ya Bu. Baik Bapak dan Ibu, terima kasih. Thank you for presenting. Ternyata 2 hari tidak cukup ya untuk presentasi, apalagi nanti yang presentasi personal individual. Jadi saya tidak akan mengeplot untuk menjadikan presentasi individual itu di 2 schedule, tapi akan saya breakdown lagi menjadi 3 jadwal. Dan untuk tugas Bapak dan Ibu, untuk nilai presentasi sesuai dengan rubrik penilaian yang sudah saya share, itu bisa panjenengan lihat nanti di LMS, tentu tidak hari ini ya, karena saya harus counting. Juga tugas kemarin waktu critical writing-nya juga nanti semuanya berbasis LMS, semuanya open management. If you are not satisfied with your score, I open every makeup task. Jadi saya akan memberikan kesempatan Bapak Ibu untuk memperbaiki kapanpun itu, walaupun tentang presentasi. Tentu kalau hubungannya dengan presentasi yang kurang memuaskan, nilainya nanti bisa Anda ambil remedialnya dengan membuat video, presentasi sendiri di depan video, kemudian nanti saya analisa. Begitu ya. Terima kasih kehadirannya. Selamat malam. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Kembalikan ke Bu
wabarakatuh.
Eti.
Thank you, ma'am.
Baik, terima kasih.
Terima kasih Bu Eti.
Sama-sama, selamat malam teman-teman. Tidak ada kata yang saya ucapkan selain wassalamualaikum.
Pokoknya kok saya semangat dulu Mbak Eti.
Thank you, bye.
Mbak Eti kok saya semangat dulu gitu ya.
Thank you.
Bangun tidur, Bu.
Oh, pantesan semangat.
Ketemu besok Jumat.
Oke.
Bangun tidur lagi. Terima kasih. Sampai ketemu di minggu depan.
Bangun